Come on, Mr. Ray, let me show you what real footwork looks like. The gym's hum quieted. Half-laughs floated in the air. A few weights clinked. Even the beat from the gym's speakers seemed to pause. Blake Weston, 29, CEO of 3 viral fitness apps, was bouncing on the ring floor, dripping sweat, grinning like he owned the place. Because in some ways, he did. His social media presence was enough to keep Apex Elite Gym full of influencers, models, and wannabes. Shirt off, muscles gleaming, he pointed toward the janitor with an exaggerated wink. All eyes turned to Mr. Ray. Ray Booker, pushing 67, stood, quietly by the far wall with a mop in hand and a gray bucket beside him. He wore a faded black security uniform, sleeves rolled up, exposing lean arms more wiry than soft. A pair of old black boots clung to his feet like they'd survived 1,000 storms. They had. Ray didn't even flinch. Blake strutted closer to the ropes, still chuckling. Come on, just a light spar for fun. Fun. Ray lifted his gaze slowly. His deep brown eyes met Blake's and held, calm as a frozen lake. No anger, no irritation, just stillness. You sure you want that, son? Ray asked. There was a flicker in Blake's confidence. Brief, barely noticeable. But Ray saw it. He always saw it. The trainer Troy shook his head nervously from the corner. Hey, Blake, he's just doing his job. Let it go. But Blake couldn't. Not with cameras watching, not with eyes around him, including those of Kennedy, the fitness model he'd been trying to impress for weeks. I'm serious, Blake said. Let's go around. If I win, he cleans the gym shirtless for a week. Ray didn't even blink. Someone laughed. Someone else muttered, Damn! Ray looked at Troy, then at the floor, then at Blake again. And if I win? He asked quietly. Blake spread his arms wide. Whatever you want, Grandpa. You name it. Ray leaned the mop against the wall. Respect, he said. Just some damn respect. There was a pause, then whistles and laughter. Phones came out. A few whispers. No way, someone said. Troy moved toward Ray gently. You don't have to prove anything, man. Ray stared at the ring. Not trying to. Just tired of people thinking age makes you weak. He climbed in without another. Word, no warm-up, no stretches, just silence. The bell rang. Blake came out fast, showy, bouncing, jab-stepping. He grinned, played for the phones, then threw a high roundhouse aimed for Ray's shoulder. Ray slid back. Not fast, not flashy, just perfect timing. Blake came in again. This time a flurry of body shots, mixed with a knee. Ray moved like water, flowing, folding, brushing the blows away without landing one of his own. Then he tapped Blake on the chest. It was so gentle, so deliberate, the whole gym let out a collective, "Oh!" Blake's face hardened. He stepped in again, swinging heavier now. A right hook aimed high. Ray ducked, twisted behind him, and tapped him on the back. Laughter. Phones up. Blake turned, embarrassed now, red-cheeked, nostrils flaring. He rushed. In hard this time. Ray caught him, not with a punch but with leverage. A quick hip shift, a sweep of the ankle, and Blake hit the mat with a muffled thud. The silence was immediate. Ray stepped back. Round's over, he said. Blake stared at the ceiling, trying to catch his breath. Someone clapped. Then another. Soon, the whole gym was buzzing. Blake stood up quickly, brushing himself off. Beginner's luck, he muttered. Ray didn't respond. He simply climbed out of the ring, picked up his mop, and returned to cleaning the corner. The gym erupted in questions. Who is he? Where'd he learn that? Did Blake just get worked by a janitor? Troy walked over to Blake. You okay? Blake scowled. He's just some old guy. He got lucky. Troy said nothing for a second. Then, his name's Raymond Booker. Look him up. Blake did. That night, in his penthouse, he stared at the screen of his laptop. Dozens of articles popped up. Retired Marine Recon Sergeant Raymond Booker. 2 tours in Iraq, 1 in Kosovo, multiple citations for bravery, taught close-quarter combat at Quantico for 6 years, retired after a spinal injury, declined medals, disappeared from public view. Blake leaned back in his chair, eyes wide. He remembered the way Ray moved, the patience, the economy, the precision. This wasn't luck. This was mastery. The next morning, Blake showed up early. Ray was already mopping the same corner. "I want a rematch," Blake said. Ray didn't look up. "Why?" "Because I need to prove I can beat you." Ray finally looked at him. "And if you can't?" Blake hesitated. "I need to try." Ray nodded. "Meet me at 7. No cameras, just us." That evening, it was just them and Troy. Blake fought better this time. Smarter. He watched Ray's shoulders, timed his breathing, feinted, circled. He got a few taps in, a glancing body shot, a knee to the thigh. Ray never rushed, never countered. Hard, but he controlled everything, every slip, every hold, every reversal. Halfway through the 3rd minute, Ray caught Blake in a standing choke. Soft pressure, no malice. Blake tapped. The silence hung heavier this time. Blake sat on the edge of the mat, panting. Ray stood over him. "You don't need to beat people to be respected. Sometimes you just need to listen." Blake nodded. "I've never had anyone do that to me before." "Then you've never really fought." The next week, Blake offered Ray a job. "I want you to train me." Ray hesitated. "I'm not a coach," he said. "You are now," Blake replied. So, began the most unexpected friendship in Apex Gym history. Every morning at 6 a.m., Blake showed up. No cameras, no entourage, just sweat and silence. Ray didn't talk much. He let the movement speak. Let the discipline do the teaching. "You don't fight with rage," Ray told him. "You fight with breath, you fight with control." He drilled footwork, timing, stillness. He taught Blake how to breathe before he moved, how to listen before he reacted. He told stories in fragments, about buddies who never came home, about training soldiers who couldn't read but could kill with a penknife, about regret. And slowly, Blake changed. He stopped posting every workout. He started mentoring young trainers. He stopped flexing in mirrors and started holding pads for beginners. Even Kennedy noticed. "You've grown up," she said one day. Blake just smiled. 6 months later, Ray disappeared. No goodbye, no warning. He just didn't show up one day. The gym manager said he resigned quietly, left behind his boots and a folded note. Blake opened it. "Keep mopping. Just do it with your head up now." 3 months later, Blake gave a TED Talk. "How a Janitor Taught Me to Win Without Fighting." It went viral. He stood on stage, dressed sharp but simple. He told the whole story, his ego, his fall, and the man who humbled him with nothing but silence and skill. The applause was long, loud, and real. As he walked off stage, he saw someone near the side door. A man in a brown coat and old black boots. Ray nodded once. Then he was gone. Some warriors carry swords, some carry scars, and some carry mops. But the sharpest weapon is always wisdom. And the best fighters, they don't need to fight at all.